Hey friends, it's Kenlin, and I'm dropping in with a short transmission for Gene Key 54 and 53. I did a longer one on Sunday, January 8th, and this is the short one on your access point to superabundance. So the future is bringing new ways to connect to prosperity than in the past, and that's because we're transcending the shadow frequency, the band of fear that has suppressed and oppressed the collective. And we're moving into giving our sacred gifts in such a way that causes a win-win for all. So the portal to superabundance, in a nutshell, is going to be that we become relevant to the collective. We stop manipulating the collective. That's the old frequency of greed, which is Gene Key 54, the shadow of greed. Gene Key 53, it's its programming partner. And that is the shadow of immaturity. And immaturity says that I'm still deaf. I don't have a clue that material wealth is not going to solve my spiritual problems. It's not going to give me meaning and purpose. And in fact, the more that a corporation or a person just keeps seeking that without having a bigger vision, a bigger purpose, the more that expansion takes you into like a cancerous quality for the world. So you can see that with corporations that continually expand for really no reason except for shareholders getting more money. So in order to expand in a conscious way that is a win-win for all, we get to expand with the notion of service. Like wealth is needed when you need it, right? You get to have wealth when you need it, when you're up to something big. There's no need to have wealth when you're not up to something big. So Gene Key 54 asks you, so what is enough? And whatever that number is, you can harness your sacred ambition, which is that physical drive to accumulate. At the low frequency, it's called greed, but at the secondary frequency, the gift frequency, it's sacred ambition. It's the thing that's connected to your purpose that brings you cash money, because we're talking about 3D reality here. So it's like your 5D or your multidimensional self having a purpose that fits into 3-space reality, and it actually makes money for you. That's the frequency of this. So to be relevant from 2023 on, you are going to need to serve the collective, to serve the whole, to solve a problem. And there are a ton of them, so there's no shortage of needing you to solve a problem that people have. What's interesting is that I have 54 in my attractor field, so you can go look at where do you have Gene Key 54, if at all, and if you don't, it's fine. What you can do is know that you have that. Everyone has all the frequencies, so just receive the transmission for your life, because everybody wants to attain a level of prosperity that has workability to their lives, that has co-creation in their lives, that has manifestation in their lives. That's prosperity, feeling like you have meaning and you're doing the thing that has meaning. And as a result, you're being supported through cash money so that you can do the things in your life to take care of yourself, to take care of others, to live in the abundance that you're meant to live, because this is a frequency that actually is in nature. Nature has the abundant frequency, and it's only when we become a separate self and we just play the game for ourselves. It's just me and myself, and I play the game for just me and myself. Then I am detaching myself from superabundance. So what really brings in the superabundance is synarchy. And I was going to say that I track people whose life work is Gene Key 54, and they're building platforms and doing cool things. And so I created the Evolving Sisters Network. And then by way of example, I'm going to show you how this is a superabundant platform. So, and it's evolutionary. And evolution is speaking to all of us right now. So you don't have to worry about being evolutionary. You just are evolutionary. This vision came through for the Evolving Sisters Network that I would create a platform which people can come to empower themselves, to heal, to shine their light, to learn about themselves. And then there would be a group of people who went through a special training, and I call that training Rise. And those leaders would be able to hold circles, facilitate conversations in circles and groups, as well as create courses inside of the Evolving Sisters Network. And I did that as an act of synarchy because I have my role inside of the network, but I'm not like a trauma therapist or a coach, a trauma coach, or let's say a mother-daughter coach, or a prosperity mindset coach. Like there's just different people have different roles. And so in the network of superabundance, everybody gets to play their part. It's synarchy. It's not hierarchy. I'm not like doing all the things and then pushing the content to you. All the things are getting created from the grassroots. Isn't that cool? I mean, that came through. I was just a conduit of that. And the way that that's part of the superabundance matrix is that it's a win-win proposition. It takes 54 to the next level. So my sacred ambition to use my life force energy to create the Evolving Sisters Network and to host a leadership incubator and apprenticeship to train people to teach inside of this network came from that sacred ambition. It's drive. And there's nothing wrong with drive. It's evolutionary. And what that opens us up to is expansion. It opens us up to super abundance, the portal of prosperity, which means that there's enough for everyone. So the old shadow frequency in that mindset says, I have to get it all and hoard it all for myself, and, or let's think of, and my shareholders. If you're like a corporation and you think like that, like corporations oftentimes will make cost benefit analysis that are not good for the people, but at the end of the day, they could pay for the lawsuits and they'll still make money. That's a cost benefit analysis that has them doing bad because it doesn't cost them enough to do that bad. They don't save enough money doing good, in other words. But when we have a new mind, we know that those kinds of economic equations actually hurt our soul. And ultimately, they hurt our brand, they hurt our reputation, and they hurt our relevance. Like, you're not relevant if you as a corporation carry that philosophy that I can hurt people and it's okay. So a super abundant mindset is a win-win, that I'm not only playing for myself, but I'm playing for you too, because I know that if you win, I win. And that's the way nature is set up. Nature is set up where waste equals food. Some animals' waste is some animals' food, because nature is holistic. Nature is regenerative. Nature is abundant. Nature is smart. And so in order to be relevant from 2023 onward, you have to access the portal of super abundance. And you do that through service to the collective, through your purpose being bigger than your scarcity, your ego, your problems. Like we like to say is have a problem bigger than you. And then you will tap into the portal of superabundance. I hope you enjoyed this. If you want more, go to my January 8, 2023 transmission of Gene Key 54 and the full moon in 53. Sending you lots of love.